Foreign Affairs Committee. We are the chairperson. We are, as you can see from the introductions, you have sitting this side the African Union, IGAD, and the United Nations. So we are that panel which is composed of those three bodies. And the reason we are in Kenya, in Uganda, is because the chairperson has this panel. We are visiting the member countries of the Horn of Africa. And chairperson, as you would know, the Horn of Africa, the members of the Horn of Africa, the countries of the Horn of Africa is Uganda, Kenya, Djibouti, Somalia, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Sudan, South Sudan. Whom have I missed? Nobody.
Both Sudans.
Both Sudans. We are visiting all of the member states of the Horn of Africa. We started in Kenya and then went to Somalia. Now we're in Uganda. The next stop will be Djibouti and so on. The reason for this chairperson is because when the African Union was celebrating the 50th anniversary of the formation of the OAU and so on, which was 2013, in looking at the challenges facing the continent and the tasks facing the continent, one of the decisions was that it would be important for the continent to try and work with the countries of the Horn of Africa to find a holistic solution to the challenges facing the Horn of Africa. That would mean we would then have to address together in a holistic manner the security challenges facing the Horn of Africa, to address the challenges of economic integration and the economic development and so on facing the people in the Horn of Africa, to address all of the whatever political challenges face the Horn of Africa. That it would be necessary that the continent works together with the countries of the Horn towards addressing all of those issues, as I was saying, in a holistic manner, which would really lead to a process of the integration of the Horn of Africa. And then it was then decided, chairperson, honorable members, therefore, that our panel, which was dealing with Sudan, that there must be added to the agenda of that panel the matter of the Horn of Africa. But that then the decision was that naturally, as the African Union was dealing with the matter of the Horn of Africa, it needed to work with IGAD. So right from the beginning, the resolution was that this African Union committee with IGAD must work on this matter of the integration of the countries of the Horn of Africa. The United Nations had a look at the matter itself. The United Nations was, of course, interested in the future of this region. Involved also, for instance, as you know, with regard to helping to resolve the conflict in Somalia, a conflict in Sudan, and then all of that. So the UN therefore decided that because of its own interest in the region, it would then join with this team that was set up by the AU, the AU, IGAD. So that's why you find the AU, IGAD, UN. So we're working together as a panel on this matter. And as I was saying, chairperson, we are therefore now visiting all of the countries of the Horn. The reason for that is that as we were discussing the matter as a panel, a matter of what is it therefore that we do to fulfill this mandate which we've been given, we said clearly there would be three matters that we would have to look at. One is a matter that relates to peace, security, stability in the region. And the Honorable Chairperson, as you know, and the honorable members, you know the conflicts that have been going on in the region. The Somali one for some time, and then even now the problems in South Sudan have not been solved. There were tensions between Eritrea and Ethiopia, you know, that kind of thing. So lots of problems of this kind. Therefore, that one of the things we would have to look at is this matter of peace, stability, security in the region as a whole. What is it that needs to be done to achieve that? We would have to look at the matter about regional economic integration. What kind of cooperation should be encouraged and developed among the countries of the Horn of Africa to impact on these challenges of the eradication of poverty, increasing levels of development and so on, but in an integrated manner in the region of the Horn of Africa. So that matter about economic integration, economic development and so on would be a second pillar, second to this one about peace and security. Then of course there would be the political questions. That clearly when you're talking about an integrated region, you'd also have to talk about the politics of the region. And there are many, again, as honorable members would know, there are many challenges that face us with regard to that. Some of them have got to do with the challenges of the management of diversity. You know, for instance, we just take the case of Sudan. The reason Sudan in the end broke out into two countries is because they could not manage diversity and maintain one country as a diverse country. So with unequal treatment of people in the end, the country broke into two parts. So I'm just giving that as an example. So I'm saying these are some of the political challenges that would have to be addressed as we're addressing this issue of regional integration. Challenges about how do we deal with the gender question, issues that relate to the role, place, development of women and equality and all that. Those are some of the issues that would have to be dealt with in terms of, as we look at this thing, there's when people move, even within the region, movement of people, how do you deal with them? There might be somebody who might move from Eritrea, from Somalia to Uganda. What's the status of this person? I'm saying there are issues like this that would, of a political nature, which would have to be looked at in terms of that process of integration. Minister Lamamra here mentioned that in terms of the AU, he's leading us on the issue of silencing the guns. And that, as you would remember, members of parliament, you remember this, the decision was to silence the guns by 2020. That's next year. So that becomes part, he is part of the panel, but also this particular matter, what is it that we need to do to accelerate the process towards silencing of guns becomes part of our agenda of this panel. Of course, in this panel, in the context of the region of the Horn of Africa. Dr. Kuyo mentioned this, coming from IGAD, mentioned the matter about the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. Because IGAD has discussed this matter particularly and set up a task force to address this matter. What do we do with regard to security along the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden? Because there's a number of countries in the Horn of Africa that are actually on the Red Sea and on the Gulf of Aden. And so it is obvious that whatever happens in that area has an immediate impact on this side of the waters, not just on the Arabian side. So there's a particular project about that. So it's a matter that has to be part of our agenda, that issue about the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. What do we do about that? In that context, I must mention something also which the honorable members will be familiar with.